All right, family. We black again with the general. You already know what time it is. We got the fire commentary, analysis, dialogue on what the war over there in Iran, conflict in the Persian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz. Before we get started, I want you to click the link at the top of the chat after the video, not during the video. After the video, Freemasonry exposed, Wiccan, Luciferianism, and Satanism. We're talking about the elites that run this country, run this world, are part of a satanic cult that they call Freemasonry. We got the documents, whether you like it or not. The Lucifer is the god of Freemasonry. Wake up, family. Check it out. Click the link. And so let's get on into this. The Iranian regime is more than willing to starve its people out and wait. You see, wait out the blockade. You see, they're more than willing to starve their people and wait out the blockade. So you got to know what you're dealing with. And I don't understand again why that these peoples will go over there. It's like, Netanyahu then set this man up. And they both, I mean, then set this man. Netanyahu might be working with Russia and China. You know what I'm saying? Netanyahu might be working. They didn't lead Donald Trump. Did they lead Donald Trump into the web? Is he in a web? Is he in a quagmire he cannot get up out of? You see? Is he in a quagmire that he can't get up out of? We got to find out. We got to find out. What we're understanding today through negotiations that the nuclear thing is not even being discussed. We black in the house. They're not even discussed. They say that they're not even discussing. So what I'm understanding is that they trying to get back to where they was before the war jumped off, without having the nuclear thing even on the table. You see what I'm saying? So if they go back just to that, if they negotiate just to that, what was the reason for even going over there? If you're going to negotiate to pre-war conditions, you see, just that alone, no nuclear thing at all. That's what they saying. So I mean, I don't understand. That mean boots on the ground. I mean, bombing ain't enough. Boots on the ground. You're going to have to put boots on the ground. Some way, somehow, you're going to have to put boots on the ground. Because these peoples is saying that they are willing to starve. They're willing, and they're not going to starve. The regime not going to, you see the peoples out there in the street, they're going to be in chaos. But they willing to, they willing to do bread and beans as much as they can, bread and beans and goat milk and shit and whatever else they can, motherfuckers ain't gonna have to put them goddamn camels on a barbecue grill or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers gonna start cooking the camels over that motherfucker. I don't know what they're gonna intend to do, but they are saying they are willing to sacrifice their people. They're willing to sacrifice their people to achieve victory. And so they're gonna take it all. They're gonna take the bomb and they're gonna take it. You see, and they're gonna wait it out in their hideouts, whether they're in the mountains, wherever they at, which more likely is where they at. They're gonna hide out in the mountains, and they saying that the pain is gonna be so unbearable. They hoping that the pain is more unbearable for the United States than them, because they say they got enough shit underground where they could survive. They got their food, they got everything that they need underground, and that they can hold out for a year. They can hold out for 2 years. They can't hold out forever now. And so, like, my thinking is that they got some way to get in there, man. That the Russians and the Chinese, I believe they got some way to get up in there. I believe they might got roads under them, in the mountains and shit. You don't know what they got over there. You feel what I'm saying? Especially if they didn't have years to do it. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no telling how long, You in about 3, 4 years and shit, and I'm quite sure you could cut a fucking road from from Iran and shit, and probably going up under countries they don't even know their ass is operating. You know what I'm saying? They didn't dug so deep, or they didn't went through them goddamn mountains and shit to where I mean, this is crazy. I do believe that. So I mean, you were thinking you blocking off, access to the country and they bringing shit in through the mountains and shit like that. I know that I mean, what kind of, I mean, military, you got to think of all kind of ways. That's what war is. You understand? Inventing ways that motherfuckers is not expecting you, come in ways motherfuckers not expecting you to come. This is what it's about. You see, this is what, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, believe it though, yeah, and that's true. And so I'm quite sure they are aware of that, and I'm quite sure they got some boots on the ground somewhere. You could believe that special forces is operating somewhere in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You could believe that. You know what I'm saying? CIA, you got the Mossad, they in there. They in there. That's how they knocked off, a lot of their leaders. So they already in there. So I mean, so if it is, they would know. They would know if it's something. And then, like I say, some of it they might not know. They might not know. For them to be so arrogant into saying, believing that they could, but they want that blockade. Obviously, that oil and all that shit. You can't get that shit out of there. You might be able to get, but so what you gonna do? You gonna stop moving oil? Nah, that's another thing is you gonna stop moving it. So you can't do that forever. But they are willing. They thinking that the United States can't last no year. You know what I'm saying? In no blockade, they ain't gonna be able to last a year. So so they might got enough shit in there stored, and ain't no telling if they bringing in military technology and shit and from the mountains and shit and this that. So the wait, it's kind of like the waiting thing is really like a disadvantage. It's a fucking disadvantage. If you're gonna put hands on this motherfucker, put hands. Why would you? It's like you put a 3-piece on the motherfucker, bop, 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 and you stagger him. The motherfucker, yeah, instead of, and I didn't see him, and you don't finish the man off. You know what I'm saying? You got him, you done stunned him. The motherfucker is out on his feet. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to try to put his arm, but he can't really attack no more. You didn't stun him to the point. And so you supposed to take him out. You supposed to go on and go on and get him out of there, put him to sleep. And then you don't get in there and you don't do, and you give him time to recover. And I done seen motherfuckers do that. You know what I'm saying? They done stagger the motherfucker, put hands on him and shit. Don't take him out. And the motherfucker end up gaining strength on their ass. You know what I'm saying? And knock his ass out. I done seen that shit. Motherfucker be stunned like, how the hell did that happen? You see what I'm saying? How the hell did that happen? Motherfucker come back and win the shit. I done seen one fight, man. He knocked the motherfucker, damn near knocked him out. The man came and knocked him down and shit and stunned. And the man got up. It was one fight. It was in the first round. And he hit that motherfucker so hard. He caught him off guard and knocked this motherfucker out in the first round. Both of them, he knocked one. I think it was a white boy. He hit the nigga, knocked him down. It looked like it was over with. He stunned him too. You know what I'm saying? That brother got up, man, and within like the three or four punches, he had knocked that white boy out. Boom! Both of them had failed in the first round. But you got to go in there and finish the man. It's not enough to stun the man, and you know what I'm saying? You got to finish him. And I don't believe this is a wise move, knowing that you don't know what they got. You don't know if Russia is helping them. didn't sent covert, you know what I'm saying? Now they do got air superiority over, and so I don't I want to look into that. You know what I'm saying? Is they flying from north to south, east to west? I want to know how they operating, you know, and I'm just saying, I know it's a military operation, but I would like to see how they flying from north to south, east to west? Do they got, I mean, do they have superiority over the whole of Iran? So I'm gonna check into that. But I think this ceasefire is far too long. You know what I'm saying? I think it's far too long. You know, I think they should be, because they're gonna retaliate. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And so you giving them time to recover and shit. No, they should have put the blockade up while they was fucking bombing their ass. You see what I'm saying? That's what they should have. They should have been bombing their ass. They should have been, the blockade should have been on. It should have been on the first fucking month they start bombing. Man, they making some mistakes, man. They making some mistakes. They making some mistakes. You see, the only other thing that I could see is that they are intending to bring soldiers in there, because they are loading them up slowly but surely. And I said that. So we'll see in a minute, family, but this regime is more than willing to starve its people. You understand? Because they already got their rations in the mountains. They already got all they need in the mountains, and they probably could hold out for probably a year or more. They could hold out, but they ain't gonna be getting no oil. They ain't gonna be getting no major dough, but they probably will be getting enough where they can hold out up in the mountains. So you're gonna have to go in there and get them. You're gonna have to go in there and get them, man. And they ain't talking about, they say the nuclear thing is, and this is what Donald Trump is saying, they can't have no nuclear weapon. What they saying, the nuclear shit is off. That's like, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? We wasting time then. We wasting motherfucking time, money and time. What we gonna do? Get over there to Patreon, family. Click the link. We got it here for you. Freemasonry exposed, Wiccan, Luciferianism, and Satanism. This is a powerful presentation. This was a 2-3 hour lecture too. So you already know that the visuals is off the chain. Get on over there, family. Black Power.